Balapan pertama Formula Renault 3.5 World Series di sirkuit Silverstone, Inggris berlangsung pada Sabtu siang. Keberuntungan tidak berpihak pada pebalap Indonesia dari tim jagonya Ayam With Carlin, Sean Gelael. Pada saat start, Sean menabrak mobil Aurelian Panis yang tiba-tiba mati. Akibat tabrakan, sayap depan mobil pebalap berusia 18 tahun ini rusak sehingga tidak bisa melanjutkan balapan. Namun kesedihan tim jagonya Ayam With Carlin terobati dengan tampil baiknya rekan setim Sean, Tom Dillman. Sempat berada di urutan kedua, Dillman akhirnya harus puas finish di urutan kelima akibat melakukan kesalahan di putaran kelima. Dengan tambahan 10 poin, Dillman tetap berada di posisi ke-6 klasemen pebalap dengan nilai 79. Sementara tim jagonya Ayam With Carlin menempati urutan keempat dengan koleksi 83 angka.
Salam Kompas Sports, Sport Lovers, kita ketemu lagi untuk Formula Renault 3.5 World Series dan kita sudah masuk ke seri ke-6 tepatnya di Inggris untuk sirkuit Silverstone bersama saya Feliciano Haryanto.
Dan saya Conchita Caroline. Seperti biasa kami akan menemani Anda jelang bergulirnya race dan tentunya kami juga akan membahas seperti apa persiapan dari tim jagonya Ayam With Carlin, baik Sean Gelael ataupun Tom Dillman.
Dan tentunya kita tidak hanya berdua di sini, kita kedatangan tamu jauh dari negara tetangga. How you doing? How are you?
Good. And I'm excited about today's race. It should be a really nice one. We're at Silverstone. It's a fantastic venue for racing, and we're looking forward to some good racing today.
Yeah, it's a long break for WSR actually, almost 2 months from the last
the previous
race.
one.
Yeah, it was a good summer break for them. Most of the drivers, I guess, would have had a bit of a holiday, but Sean Gelael was actually quite a busy driver himself. While other drivers were probably enjoying a beach somewhere, he jumped into a GP2 car and he had 4 races under his belt. So he got a lot of experience at Spa and Hungary. And I think it's great that he had the opportunity to actually jump into a GP2 car, get more experience at a different type of series. And it's only going to make him stronger as a driver as he gains more experience.
Ya, tentunya seperti yang disampaikan oleh Sanjeev tadi bahwa kita sudah dari terakhir race kelima hampir 2 bulan libur untuk para racer, tapi tidak bagi Sean Gelael karena
libur
dia juga
panas,
sempat sibuk dengan GP2-nya kemarin walaupun hasilnya tidak memuaskan bagi dia dan dia sudah menyatakan bahwa kecewa, tapi tentunya target berarti di musim ini luar biasa bagi Sean. Dia ingin mempercepat.
Kita akan bahas juga seperti apa sepak terjang Sean di GP2, namun sebelumnya ini saya ingatkan lagi bahwa Anda memiliki kesempatan untuk meraih uang tunai Rp1 juta persembahan dari KFC. Caranya mudah, nanti akan ada kuis interaktif bersama rekan kami, Ray Utami, dan sekarang juga sudah ada acara nonton bareng yang diselenggarakan oleh fans dari Sean Gelael atau disebut juga dengan Gelaelize.
Gelaelize, ada 2 rekan kita di sana di Surabaya dan juga di Jakarta. Kita akan langsung sapa saja. Selamat sore.
Halo, selamat sore.
Ratri, bagaimana dengan suasana di sana dan persiapan untuk nonton barengnya? Silakan laporan Anda.
Ya, belakang boleh biar kelihatan lebih penuh. Jangan dorong. Iya.
Ya, Jakarta tentu seru dengan hadirnya para ratusan Gelaelize. Saya telah berkumpul di sini dengan para Gelaelize sejak sore tadi di KFC Lateras Lenteng Agung, Jakarta. Di sini kita bersama untuk menyaksikan acara nonton bareng World Series Formula Renault 3.5 ini. Tadi acara nomor ini telah dibuka dengan nyanyian lagu Indonesia Raya. Karena mengingat kita semua di sini berkumpul untuk mendukung bersama para pebalap yang tergabung dalam tim jagonya Ayam With Carlin, di mana ada Sean Gelael dan juga Tom Dillman. Dan saya tentunya tidak ingin seru-seruan sendiri, tapi juga ingin mengajak para Gelaelize dan sport lovers yang ada di rumah di sekitaran Lenteng Agung dan Jakarta untuk datang ke KFC Lenteng Agung Jakarta ini untuk menyaksikan bersama nonton bareng World Series Formula Renault 3.5 ini. Karena tidak hanya acara nobar saja, namun juga akan ada band performance dan juga quiz bagi-bagi hadiah yang akan digelar di sini. Untuk mengecek bagaimana serunya para penonton yang telah hadir di sini, Gelaelize, maju tak gentar. Iya, Conchita dan Felix, cukup seru kan? Kembali.
Baik, terima kasih Ratri melaporkan langsung dari Jakarta dan kita akan beranjak ke Jawa Timur, tepatnya di Surabaya. Ada Kika Madara di sana. Kika, bagaimana semangat Gelaelize di Surabaya? Silakan laporan Anda.
Selamat malam Felix dan juga Conchita. Wah, kota Surabaya. Kalau Anda melihat di belakang saya ini adalah massa yang sekarang ini sedang berkumpul untuk nanti akan menyaksikan bersama bagaimana pertandingan untuk Sean Gelael akan berlaga dalam sirkuit di Silverstone, Inggris yang akan berlangsung malam hari nanti. Tapi sebelumnya, untuk pemanasan, saya pengen dengar suaranya dulu. Oke, ini mana pendukungnya Sean Gelael? Gelaelais! Tuh, kurang semangat apa coba? Luar biasa kan? Tapi coba kita tahan sekali lagi bagaimana semangat mereka untuk maju tak gentar. Yang pastinya mereka akan sangat bersemangat sekali untuk nanti akan menyaksikan bersama di sini. Tapi bagi Anda yang saat ini juga masih berada di kota Surabaya dan sedang mencari spot mana untuk yang paling nyaman untuk menyaksikan bagaimana pertandingan dari Sean Gelael berlaga dalam F1 di Silverstone, Inggris, Anda bisa datang ke KFC Aditya Warman sini. Dan yang pastinya Anda bisa mengajak siapa saja untuk bergabung di sini karena di sini sudah ada 2 giant sprint yang dipersiapkan untuk menyambut kedatangan Anda beserta dengan teman-teman Anda, teman-teman komunitas juga boleh siapa saja untuk menyaksikan bersama. Kita lihat bersama-sama karena ini memang adalah perjuangan dari anak bangsa warga Indonesia yang akan berlaga dalam kancah internasional. Kita akan tunggu bersama-sama. Sekali lagi, Gelaelais! Salam dari kota Surabaya untuk Anda, Felis dan juga Konsita.
Baik, terima kasih Kak Madonna dari Surabaya dan sebelumnya ada Ratri tadi ya.
Keren banget ya di Surabaya, ternyata keramaiannya tidak kalah dengan yang di Jakarta. Bahkan tadi katanya untuk Anda yang mungkin belum punya rencana bisa aja langsung bergabung karena masih banyak tempat yang disediakan memang di KFC Aditya Warman untuk menyaksikan perjuangan dari Sean Gelael dan Tom Dillman.
Tidak lupa kita ingatkan untuk Anda bersiap-siap dengan teleponnya di nomor 02153661313 atau di 5366122 bisa lihat di layar kaca Anda untuk hadiah nanti ada 1 juta rupiah untuk Anda di penghujung acara. Makanya harus pantau terus race karena ada satu-satunya tim Indonesia yang mewakili di Formula Renault 3.5 World Series ini yaitu tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin.
Betul, jadi kita nanti akan bagi-bagi hadiah. Namun seperti biasa ini masih menjelang dimulainya race, kita akan bicarakan terlebih dahulu bagaimana persiapan dari Sean dan juga dari Tom. So, knowing that they're going to play at the Silverstone, what do you expect from the race?
Oh, well, the good thing about Silverstone is it's a great track for overtaking. It's very high speed and the drivers actually love it. It's a nice track to drive.
Yeah.
So from a driver's perspective, they really have to stay quite focused. It's a high speed circuit. There are opportunities to overtake. So Sean's going to be starting race 2 from 15th position.
Yeah.
He's going to have quite a lot of work. The 14 cars in front of him. Tom Dillman is in 12th position. So both of these drivers are fortunate in the sense that they can have the opportunity to try and overtake cars. Silverstone will allow them to do that. But it's going to be very, very, very crucial that they have a really good start and they keep out of trouble at the first few corners. Because yesterday's Sean's race didn't
And quite so well,
barely got off to much of a start before he had to actually retire after the car in front of him stalled and he ran into the back of him. So I would say if they get off the line cleanly, keep the first lap under control and then slowly start picking their way through the pack.
Jadi ternyata memang yang krusial justru adalah beberapa tikungan pertama dan yang paling penting tugas utama dari Sean Dillman dan juga Sean Gelael dan juga Tom Dillman dalam race kali ini adalah untuk menjaga beberapa tikungan pertama dan jangan sampai ada terselip atau mungkin ada kesalahan-kesalahan kecil karena akibatnya bisa fatal di Silverstone ini.
Betul, dan tentunya kita akan kembali berbincang bersama Sanjeev Pawar juga menjelang untuk start di race untuk Silverstone kali ini, tapi jangan kemana-mana, kita akan kembali selesai jeda. Tetap di Kompas TV.
Sirkuit Silverstone yang menjadi kebanggaan publik Inggris akan menjadi tuan rumah lanjutan ajang bergengsi Formula Renault 3.5. Trek yang menjadi langganan perhelatan akbar balap otomotif F1 dan MotoGP kembali masuk kalender balap Formula Renault 3.5 di tahun 2010. Silverstone terpilih menggantikan sirkuit Donington Park yang telah menghelat balap Formula 3 dari tahun 1986 sampai 2009. Sejak pertama kali digunakan untuk lomba balap jet darat Formula One pada tahun 1950, Silverstone tetap mempertahankan karakter sirkuit berkecepatan tinggi. Silverstone menjadi salah satu sirkuit favorit bagi para pebalap. Bagi pebalap muda Indonesia, Sean Glyle, berlaga di Silverstone layaknya membalap di kampung halaman sendiri. Pasalnya pebalap 18 tahun kini tengah menempuh pendidikan di negeri Ratu Elizabeth. Terlebih di sirkuit yang memiliki panjang lintasan 5,9 km ini, Sean berhasil meraih podium pertamanya di Eropa pada kejuaraan British Formula 3 tahun 2013. Mampukah Sean kembali tampil perkasa di Silverstone? Kita saksikan sesaat lagi.
Ya, Sport Lovers, terima kasih Anda masih tetap bersama kami menyaksikan Formula Renault 3.5 World Series. Masih bersama saya Coach Caroline.
Dan saya Feliciano Haryanto, dan baru saja Anda saksikan mengenai sedikit profil tentang sirkuit yang akan dihadapi oleh tim jagonya ayam hari ini, yaitu Silverstone di Inggris. Dan memang ini sebenarnya bukan tantangan baru bagi Sean, karena Sean juga sudah cukup berpengalaman di sini. Namun di race pertama ada sedikit kesialan pada saat start, di mana Sean menabrak mobil dari Panis di situ, yang tiba-tiba berhenti, ada masalah, dan akhirnya membuat Sean kecewa dengan hasilnya tentunya. Kita akan lihat, dan untuk race kedua kali ini harus start dari posisi ke-15. Dan kita masih bersama dengan Sanjeev di sini. So, what do you think? Based on their performance, Tom Dillman and also Sean Glyle, based on the first qualification and also the first race, and also this the second qualification.
I think if you look at what the team is capable of doing, there's a lot of potential there. I mean, Tom Dillman, he qualified in 6th. He finished the race 1 in 5th place, but at one point he was right up there, looking like he could get onto the podium. He made a bit of a mistake in race 1, and his car went off circuit, and that cost him the position, and that's why he dropped down the order. But the positive to take away from that is that the car is fast. You know, Sean, on the other hand, he's going to be able to see how Tom has set up his car. You know, to take some experience from Tom, who had some running race experience from race 1, and apply that into race 2. So hopefully the both of them can come out stronger. Tom is going to have the confidence that the car is fast enough. He's starting in 12th position. It's not the best place to start the race. I mean, obviously this car should normally be in the 5th to 6th position, and that's where he should normally qualify. So he's got a lot of work to do, but he knows he's got a fast car under him, and he's at a circuit where he can overtake. And Sean is just really going to have to keep his nose clean this time and be really acute and aware of everything that happens around him to not have a repeat, because he can't afford, I would say, another retirement. The last 3 events he's had, 3 retirements that he's clocked up so far. So that's going to start eating away at his confidence if he doesn't check it. And today's a good time to check it. And if he can end this weekend on a high, it's going to be really good for him.
Yes, so he has to finish this series actually.
For Sean. To finish strongly.
Ya, seperti yang disampaikan oleh Sanjeev tadi, bahwa memang sebenarnya kedua dari driver tim jagonya Ayam with Carly ini juga sadar dengan mobil cepatnya mereka punya potensinya, modalnya di sana. Dan juga ditunjukkan dengan Tom Dillman yang finish di posisi ke-5 sebenarnya, pada race kedua, di mana dia memulai dengan starting grid ke-6. Nah, di race kedua ini harus memulai dari posisi ke-12. Di mana tentunya bukan modal yang baik untuk start, tapi dengan modal dan potensi mobil, sekali lagi disampaikan tadi bahwa mobil yang cepat dipunyai oleh Tom Dillman dan juga Sean, mereka mempunyai potensi untuk kembali meraih poin, mempertahankan posisi sementara di championship untuk tim.
Betul. We all know that the key of winning this whole competition is consistency. Is there any secret ingredients as if to win the title itself, or is there any secret of keeping the consistency?
Keeping consistency. The secret is consistency. How you keep consistency, it really boils down to the individual driver, because the machines don't change that much from race to race. So a driver really has to maintain their focus. You know, it's just like how when we wake up and we try and go to work, you know, some days we're really happy and we're really excited. And then some days you have your low day. But the true champions are those that when they're not feeling fully at their best, they're able to dig deep and pull out a result, you know, and that's really how the real pros manage to do it. Even on their worst day, they can still pull out a good result.
Yeah, they should. They should get the best result in every series actually ya. Ya tadi yang disampaikan bahwa memang konsistensi yang paling dibutuhkan di sini dan ini adalah musim baru, musim pertama bagi Sean. Jadi tidak perlu berharap banyak ya. Memang ini adalah musim belajar bagi Sean sendiri yang akan didampingi oleh Tom Dillman yang cukup berpengalaman. Namun sekali lagi sirkuit Silverstone bukan tantangan baru bagi Sean. Kita akan lihat apakah di race kedua kali ini dia akan menunjukkannya bersama dengan Tom Dillman dan meraih poin bagi tim jagonya yang Carlin. Kita akan kembali selesai jeda, jadi tetap di Kompas TV.
Ya, Sportlovers, Anda kembali bersama kami tentunya dalam Formula Renault 3.5 World Series dan masih ada waktu jelang race berlangsung. Dan sekarang waktunya saya serta komentator kita Sanjeev Pallar untuk membahas bagaimanakah situasi dan persiapan dari para pebalap serta apa trik-trik yang harus dilakukan di sirkuit Silverstone. Kita ketahui bahwa ini merupakan sirkuit yang memang sudah pernah dicoba oleh kedua pebalap dari tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin, masing-masing Tom Dillman dan juga Sean Gelael. Mungkin kita akan lihat dulu dari tabel klasifikasi. So Sanjeev, this is the table.
Yeah.
And right now, Tom Dillman is actually number 6 with 79 points. And let's see where Sean Gelael is at. He's at the 18th. Yeah.
Well, we've had 10 races so far, and remember we were just talking about consistency, right?
Yes.
Okay, so out of 10 races, Sean scored points in Monaco, so that's where his 4 points come from. But if you look at Tom Dillman, he's actually had quite a consistent season, which is why he's sitting in 6th place. I think he's only had 2 times out of 10 races where he hasn't scored points, and that's basically led him to build up a pretty strong haul of 79 points. He's got 2 rookies ahead of him, but they belong with the Dams team, you know, and that car has proven to be quite fast. I think we can all agree that the Fortec Motorsports team with Oliver Rowland and Jasman Jafar have a very, very quick racing machine under them.
Yeah.
And Matthew Vassivier in the Lotus is also managed to extract quite a lot from his racing machine. So if you're looking at this, the Team Jaguar Ayam with Carlin is, well, you could actually argue that it is the 3rd, maybe the 4th fastest car out there on the grid at the time. And I think if Tom can pull off some really strong results, he can start eating away at Nick and then perhaps maybe have a go at Dean Stoneman before the season is over.
The first 2 rookies. Jadi sebenarnya memang sport lovers di sini kalau kita lihat mobil yang digunakan oleh Tom Dillman dan juga Sean Gelael dikatakan adalah mobil keempat tercepat dari mobil-mobil yang ada dalam kompetisi kali ini, dan sebenarnya masih ada kesempatan pula untuk kedua pebalap kita menyalip para pesaing terdekat. Contohnya Tom Dillman di sini masih memiliki kesempatan untuk menyalip ada Nick De Vries dan juga ada Dean Stoneman yang masing-masing mengoleksi poin 86 dan juga 83. Mungkin kunci dari penampilan kali ini adalah konsistensi. Mampukah ia mempertahankan konsistensinya dalam balapan kali ini? Itu yang harus kita lihat. So we're moving on to the circuit. We're moving on to the circuit. So this is the Silverstone in which both of the racer, Tom Dillman and Sean Gelael, has got plenty of experience in the circuit before.
Yep.
But what makes the circuit so unique?
Well, first of all, this circuit was built out of an old military airport. Okay, so it was. It held the very first Formula One race in 1950. So the very first Formula One Grand Prix happened at this circuit. There have been changes to the circuit, and in 2010 they made a few changes, and they moved the pit straight, which used to be over here. They moved it over here. So this is now the start of the start of the circuit. So the drivers will make their way through here. It's a very high-speed circuit. For about 65% of this lap, the drivers are at full throttle. They go at about an average of maybe 200 kilometers around this circuit. But there are 3 areas that have where they'll have to brake really heavily. One is over here. Just after the start, it's a really heavy braking section and it's a slow section.
We can see that it's a very hard turn to make.
Yep, it gets a bit tight and twisty for them. And then they get on the accelerator and then they go really fast around here. And then again here they brake again. And then they go through this section. This is a fantastic section for the drivers to come through. A great overtaking opportunity over here at very high speed. So the drivers have to be extremely confident and really, really sure of what they're doing. If not, they can cause a massive accident. So that happens over here. And then they go through this really nice complex of maggots and beckets where it's a left, a right, a left, a right, and a left again for the drivers. At high speed, fantastic to drive in a car because you can just feel the grip levels really at this point in the circuit. Not much overtaking happens over here, but around here, there's an opportunity to overtake. It's another fast right-hander. But if the drivers get it right and with a good run-up into the slipstream over here, they can potentially outbrake their opponent at this part of the circuit here and potentially make their way past. And then you come back here for another really slow part of the circuit, and then they have to start a new lap. And it's really important for them to get this part right, because if they make a mistake here, it's going to affect them all the way here. So you can see how it has a knock-on effect.
Ya, jadi ternyata memang ada beberapa tikungan-tikungan yang sangat tricky dalam sirkuit Silverstone kali ini. Salah satunya adalah satu jalan yang sebenarnya terlihat lurus, tapi di sini adalah peluang bagi para pebalap untuk melakukan overtaking dan merebut posisi dari para lawan-lawan mereka. Dan ada pula satu titik di mana mereka juga harus memperhatikan kecepatan dan keahlian mereka dalam melakukan tikungan. Ini salah satunya. Nah, bisa Anda lihat. Memang kalau kita lihat jalanannya agak berkelok-kelok di sini dan inilah bagian yang menjadi titik krusial dari para pebalap di race kali ini. Kalau kita lihat, nah ini adalah jalur di mana para pebalap juga bisa merasakan tensi dari kecepatan yang memang bisa dimaksimalkan dari kendaraan mereka masing-masing. So, if we're talking about the corners, we're gonna see seperti apa situasi di Silverstone saat ini dan juga melihat bagaimanakah persiapan dari kedua pebalap dari tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin. Ada Tom Dillman dan juga Sean Gelael. So they're getting
right here
ready
we've got
now.
our pole sitter there. That's Mathieu Vassilier, who now has set the lap record for Silverstone for the Formula Renault 3.5 series. He is the fastest driver who's gone around Silverstone. He's going to be starting on pole, and he's going to be looking forward to a very, very, very strong result because he needs to chase the man starting next to him, which is Oliver Rowland. Oliver Rowland leads the championship. Mathieu Vassilier is the man who's chasing him down and starting on pole position.
Yeah.
This is Theo Ilinas.
This is actually Elina's point of view that we're seeing right now.
It's a beautiful view here.
It is a beautiful view, yeah.
So race winner, he picked up his first win of the season, and it was a really emotional win for him because his grandfather passed away recently, and he said it was a really difficult time for the family, and he dedicated this win yesterday to his grandfather. So it's really touching. And there we can see here car number 26, that's Tom Dillman making his way through. We know he starts way back in 12th position today.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, if they get a clean start and there's enough time and enough opportunity on this track for Tom Dillman and Sean Gelael to actually make their way through the pack and come up with a good result.
Kerapihan dari kemampuan atau skill menyetir para pebalap inilah yang akan diuji di sirkuit Silverstone. Dan kita ketahui kita juga sudah melihat situasi langsung di sirkuit Silverstone di mana balapan juga sudah dimulai. Untuk itu, untuk menemani Anda dalam balapan kali ini, saya akan langsung persilahkan rekan saya Feliciano Haryanto untuk memandu jalannya race bersama dengan komentator kita Sanjeev Palar. Langsung saja Sport Lovers, silakan Felice dan juga Sanjeev.
Baik, terima kasih Conchita, Caroline dan saudara. Saat ini para driver sudah melakukan sesi pemanasan untuk sirkuit Silverstone di race kedua, di mana ini adalah seri ke-6 untuk Formula Renault 3.5 World Series. Dan Anda baru saja melihat ini adalah starting grid yang akhirnya dirilis untuk race kedua kali ini, di mana Sean Glyle harus memulai race dari posisi ke-15. So, what do you think is gonna be the start on this in this second race?
Well, the new Silverstone circuit actually allows the drivers to really get on full throttle into that first right-hander and continue to pick up speed all the way through turns 1 and 2. They only start braking at turn 3. So this really allows drivers to pick up a lot of speed and then try and outbrake an opponent going into the first hard braking zone, which is actually at turn 3. Okay. So there's an opportunity for drivers to get past and certainly an opportunity for a lot of mistakes to happen.
Oke. Dan memang ini adalah start yang cukup tricky di Silverstone, di mana akan bisa apabila sedikit lengah dapat menjadi celaka bagi para drivers ini. Dan kita sedikit merecap untuk posisi dan juga starting grid kali ini, di mana Xavier yang akan memimpin untuk jalannya race di posisi pertama. Kemudian ada Oliver Rowland di sana, diikuti oleh Latifi dan juga ada Van. On the fourth position, followed by Theo Elias yang kemarin menjuarai untuk race pertama. Dan para driver sudah bersiap untuk start di Silverstone.
Got a green flag. All the cars are in position. We're going to see the lights go off.
Here we go.
Red lights come off and they go off. And Matthew Vassivier gets off the line really well. Covers the line from Oliver Rowland to maintain his lead going into the first corner. And there we have a little bit of contact there. A car's gone spinning around.
Another contact on the second race. Kita akan melihat mobil siapa? Theo Elias.
Yeah, race winner has gone from hero to zero in race 2. Just shows you how fast fortunes can actually change in this racing series. And we can see Tom Dillman and Sean Galel there really trying to make their way through the pack early on. And we've got another car going off on track there. That's going to happen. This is Silverstone. This is lap 1 and everyone's really excited. Oliver Rowland now into third place because he is side by side. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic opportunity of racing right here at the moment. He's definitely not gonna want to have a poor result here, so he is trying to go strong here at his home race. As going across the line is Matthew Vassivier, then it is Oliver Rowland.
Oke, kita recap dari hasil start saat ini. Vassivier masih mempertahankan memimpin race, diikuti oleh Vanten dan juga Oliver Rowland yang saat ini memimpin klasemen sementara, diikuti oleh Xavier.
Oh, look at that big scrap there going for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place. Positions are changing as we speak, but it's Vassivier who leads. It's right now Rowland who's in 2nd place, and we've got Fantin, Stoneman, Latifi, Yeloli, Jaffa and Panis all locked into a very tight chicane of cars. As you can see them come around the corner, and we've got a spinning Jagonya Ayam with Carlin driver right there. I'm not sure whether they're Sean.
Salah satu pengemudi dari tim Jagonya Ayam melintir mobilnya tadi di tikungan. Kita masih belum tahu apakah itu Tom Dillman atau Sean Glyle.
It's Dillman. Dillman hasn't come across the starting ring, start line. Dillman has spun round. Unfortunately, he's now dropped all the way around to last place. He's just come across the line, so he's had to have taken some time to recover from that spin. Good news is that he's still running in this race.
Tom Dillman tampaknya harus mundur sampai dengan posisi terakhir karena tadi mengalami I think there's a problem with the grip with Tom Dillman. So
yeah, we have to have a quick look and see exactly how that happened. As we look at this pack here, forcing his way through there. That is car number 6. Brilliant maneuver there to make his way through. Igor Rustchov, the Russian driver there, who's already had 1 race victory under his belt. He's going really well at the moment, making his way through the pack. But it's still race leader at the moment, Vassivier, who is going purple in Sector 1, which tells you he's setting the fastest sector time so far. More side-by-side racing there, and that looks to be like Sean Gelael.
I think Sean is look impressive today.
He's running really nicely. He's up into 10th place already. So he is right now in the points. So if Sean stays in this position, he is going to score points today. He is anxious to make up for what has been a really, really difficult race weekend for him so far. He didn't get any laps done yesterday. Today, right now, he's already done a few laps and he's running in 10th position. That's a strong start by the youngster, I must say.
Ya, tampaknya juga penampilan impresif dipertunjukkan oleh Sean Gelael tadi yang saat ini sedang menduduki di posisi ke-10 pada saat ia start di posisi ke-5, dan memang terlihat di sini potensi dan juga kecepatan dari mobil tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin luar biasa, dan kita akan kembali melihat ini bagaimana start yang berlangsung tadi di mana Xavier masih mau mempertahankan untuk memimpin race kedua kali ini.
Yeah, it was a really good start. Then we can see Theo Ilyas just completely going 360. Good thing that there was plenty of runoff over there, and he is actually able to continue, so he's still back on track. Let's see exactly what happened. Tom Dillman goes ahead of him right there, and the spin happens right in front of it. This is riding aboard Malia, which is Theo's teammate.
Ya, satu lagi tayangan ulang pada saat start di mana ada sebuah insiden yang terjadi pada Theo Ilyas. Ya, namun Theo Ilyas masih mampu melanjutkan race-nya untuk kali ini. Ini tampaknya kita,
Theo, I believe. He got a really poor start. That's what happened. He got a really poor start, bogged down, and then looks like somebody might have tapped him from the back, actually.
I think
somebody might have tapped him at the back. But, you know, he allowed himself to be in this position by getting a poor start. You know?
Yeah,
that's why in motor racing, you really need to take your opportunity, as we see a fantastic dive down the outside, just not being able to make his stick. But that is car number 10, which is
Yeloli.
He is racing on home soil as well, and he's the latest to be drafted into this Lotus team to fill the race seat next to Vassivier. He'll see his teammate riding out in front, leading the race at the moment. So he's obviously very eager to make his way up there and try and join his teammate on the podium today.
Ya, tadi Anda baru saja menyaksikan Nick Yeloli yang saat ini berada di posisi ke-8, di mana ini adalah rekan satu tim dari sang pemimpin Xavier. Nick Yeloli sendiri bukan pembalap baru khususnya di Formula 3.5, ini bagaikan comeback-nya Nick yang namun baru masuk di seri kali ini menggantikan Van Buren di tim Lotus. Dan kita akan merecap sedikit, Xavier masih memimpin dengan gap atau selisih waktu yang cukup jauh, hampir 3 detik dengan pesaingnya Oliver Roman yang saat ini memimpin klasemen sementara untuk Championship World Series by Renault. Diikuti oleh posisi ketiga ada Fantin di sana dan Dean Stolman dari tim Dams. Latifi, Jasmine Jafar di ke-6, ada Igor di posisi ke-7, Yeloli ke-8, Panis di 9 dan Malia di ke-10, dan Sean Gelael saat ini masih bertarung di posisi ke-11 untuk kembali mengambil posisi 10 yang diambil alih oleh Malia.
Yeah, we just saw a replay there of how Malia got past Sean on the start, going the last corner, going onto the finish line, I should say. Malia got a better run-off of Sean. And we've got a car that's out there. Looks like Jasman Jafar, I believe. Car number 3 is Jasman Jafar. Oh, he is 3rd in the championship at the moment. And, you know, he really needed a good result today as well. If he had any hope of trying to get back into that championship battle, which is now being led by Oliver Rowland and Vassivier. But his car is parked by the side, and clearly that's race over for Malaysian Jasman Jafar. A disappointing end to his Silverstone race weekend.
Ya, tampaknya memang ini adalah hasil yang buruk bagi Jasman Jafar, khususnya bagi di mana apabila Jasman Jafar ingin masuk tetap di 3 besar, dia harus mendapatkan poin. Namun tampaknya ada masalah dengan mobilnya dan dia tidak dapat melanjutkan untuk race kali ini. Tidak sama seperti pada saat race pertama di mana Jafar juga tidak mendapatkan hanya mendapatkan 1 poin.
Well, we got 3rd place here. We haven't said much about Pietro Fantin, but he's running in 3rd place today. The Draco Racing driver, he's doing really well. And right behind him is Dean Stoneman, who had a puncture yesterday and did not finish the race. This is one rookie who's under the Red Bull tutelage, which is why the car's got Red Bull livery on it. Quite a few of these drivers are all coached or supported by some Formula One teams, which is why there's quite a lot of resemblance. Jasman Jaffar, whose car they just passed, looks very close like the Mercedes Formula One racing car. That's because Jasman is backed by Petronas Motorsports. And over here we've got Dean Stoneman, who's backed by the Red Bull Racing Team. Out in front, race leader Mathieu Vassiliere, he's backed by the Lotus Racing Team. So, you know, that's basically why those car colors look quite the same. So you're not actually, well, you could say that the Lotus is leading a race ahead of a Red Bull at the moment.
Ya, kalau bisa kita lihat tampaknya Lotus saat ini lebih memimpin daripada tim Red Bull. Walaupun tim Red Bull sendiri digadang-gadang sebagai salah satu tim terbaik. This is the first pit from Dean Stoneman.
Between lap 5 and lap 15, everybody has to make a mandatory pit stop. And Dean Stoneman has opted to go in early, and he's followed by Panis, and Galail is in there as well. Sean's right behind him. Silas Jr. as well, and Tio Ilines.
Yes.
Quite a few. It's getting really busy. Everyone's opting to change tires quite early.
I think it's also interesting between GP and Roland, because, you know,
yeah, they had to hold him. They had to hold Sean. He was done. His pit stop was done. But they had to hold him because there was traffic coming out, and they couldn't release the car. If they had, and should there have been a collision, the team could have got into trouble and Sean could have been penalized further. So even though the team had finished changing the tires on the car, they had to hold Sean just a little bit longer than necessary because of traffic in the pit lane.
Ya, tampaknya ada kepadatan tadi di pit stop, meskipun sebenarnya tim dari jagonya yang Carlin sudah selesai untuk pit stop mobil dari Sean Gelael, namun harus ditahan agar tidak terjadi kecelakaan. So it means Sean and also jagonya ayam with Carlin need management in the pit stop because of
well, you can never anticipate traffic. Oh, let's have a look here. A little bit. Oh, there's two cars there running off, and that is.
Kita akan lihat ini tampaknya ada
at the end of a race. That potentially could be.
The Brain?
Yep, that car's stranded, and that is Bruno Bonifacio. And he's going no further in this race weekend after that little bit of contact. I think rather unfortunate for him indeed. But to get back to what you were saying, basically the team can anticipate when they want to bring in their driver, but what they can't anticipate is the amount of traffic they're going to face in the pit lane. So that was really just an unfortunate situation. As soon as lap 5 came about, the pit lane window opened, so they are allowed to make a pit stop, and the team opted to pit Sean early. What they couldn't predict was that the cars around him were going to come in at the same time, and then you know, it comes down to a bit of racing bad luck in that sense if you get stuck in traffic in the pit lane.
Ya, tampaknya tadi memang yang terjadi di pit stop sehingga harus menahan Gelael Sean untuk selesai lebih cepat karena ada memang bisa dibilang satu kesialan lagi yang dialami oleh Sean di kali ini, dan saat ini Sean harus kembali bertarung dari posisi ke-15 untuk kembali masuk ke 10 besar dan membawa poin bagi tim jagonya ayam.
And this is the car that we saw had contact just now, and you can look at the front right looks gone. Nick De Vries, that front right tire just looks like it's bent out of shape. Yeah. Exactly. Nick De Vries, as a result of his contact there with Bruno Bonifacio, he's ended his race, and that's a poor shame. Big shame there for the McLaren-backed rookie driver. He had a really good qualifying position today, and unfortunately he wasn't able to convert that. Let's take a look at what exactly happened here. This is the braking zone. So he tried to outbrake Bruno. Bruno just turned in there, but in fairness, I think Nick De Vries really did not leave too much option for Bruno there, because De Vries was way too fast and way too late on the brakes.
So is he gonna get a penalty for that takeover?
I'm not sure. We'll see if the stewards are actually investigating. But as we see, race leader now, Vassiliere, is in the pits. And that looked like a nice, clean pit stop by the entire Lotus team there. Only 7 of the mechanics can actually work on a car during a pit stop, and those 7 men did a very good job to get Vassiliere in and out of the pits very quickly. Roland now is unleashed. He takes the race lead, but he still has to make one pit stop. So we'll really see how effective the Lotus pit stop was, and compare that to the Fortec Racing team's pit stop in a short while. And let's see if Oliver decides to come in this time round, or does he decide opt to stay out?
Apakah Roland akan masuk ke dalam pit stop, karena saat tadi sudah kita saksikan bersama bahwa Xavier melakukan pit stop yang cukup baik dan juga cepat. Saat ini Roland memimpin untuk race kedua kali ini sementara, namun tetap harus menyelesaikan satu pit stop. Kita akan lihat manakah yang lebih cepat antara Roland nanti melakukan pit stop, apakah Xavier akan mampu kembali mengambil alih untuk memimpin race kali ini.
I mean, the pit stops still have to shake themselves out before we actually see where everybody sits in the order. But what this allows some drivers to do is what Roland is doing now. He's got clean air in front of him. For once, for the first time in this race, there is no other car in front of him as Fantin actually, I believe, comes into the pit lane at the moment, who was running in second place. There you go. Car number 1 and car number 20 will be investigated after the race. That answers your questions. The stewards will have a look and see who was at fault with that De Vries and Bonifacio incident. But coming back to the Roland now, he is in a position to actually put in some good lap times, and that is exactly what he is doing. This is the only way he's going to try and get the lead from Vassivier. He has just set the fastest lap of the race so far in that clean air. So the team now has to decide how many laps do they want to leave him out there to do that before they actually bring him in.
Iya, tampaknya tadi ada penyelidikan atau investigasi bagi insiden yang terjadi antara Bruno Bonifacio dan juga De Bruyn. Tampaknya memang ada kontak, ada sebuah kesalahan antara kedua driver tersebut dan harus memaksa Bruno Bonifacio untuk tidak melanjutkan race kali ini. Dan saat ini Roland masih memimpin dan masih belum masuk ke pit stop. Dan tadi Fantin yang sempat membayangi Roland sudah melakukan pit stop dan berada di posisi keempat. Sedangkan Xavier saat ini di posisi ketiga membayangi Roland.
Well, let's have a look now at how things are slowly shaking up. Only 2 drivers from that list there. Number 1 and number 2, Oliver Roland and Igor Ruschev, have not completed a pit stop. So if you factor in their pit stops, and I do believe, okay, I guess Roland's continuing. He's liking this this opportunity to actually go as fast as possible. What do you think
for Roland's strategy here?
He's trying to stay out as long as possible and set some really fast times to give him an advantage over Vassivier. Now, if we look at Vassivier's lap times, he is lapping in the 143.694. That was Vassivier's last time. And Roland is doing a 143.345. So, I should take that back, because Vassivier has now just set the fastest lap, and that is going to obviously create a little bit of a noise down at the Fortec pits at the moment, because they would know that Vassivier is now making full use of the new tires to go as fast as possible. And it would be a good time to actually bring Roland in, because I don't think he can go much faster on those old tires. As we can see, the mechanics are preparing for the race leader to actually come into the pits, and then we'll keep our eye on where Vassivier is and whether he can overtake Roland.
Oke, dan ini tampaknya tim dari Fortec Motorsport sudah bersiap-siap untuk pit stop bagi Oliver Roland, di mana tadi Igor yang sempat di posisi kedua sudah masuk ke pit stop, dan saat ini Xavier yang sudah melakukan pit stopnya membayang-bayangi Roland. Kita akan lihat apakah Oliver Roland dapat melakukan dan timnya melakukan pit stop yang bersih dan cepat untuk mempertahankan memimpin race kali ini. As we know, Oliver Roland and also Matthew Xavier on the championship is
they are neck
very tight.
And neck.
Yeah.
They are basically, there's only 20-odd points that separates the two of them. As you see Roland coming in for his pit stop at the moment, and he hits the pit limiter, and all of a sudden the car must feel as slow as possible for them. It's a really, really, really taxing event for them to actually go through this. But
inilah saat penentuan bagi Oliver Roland yang sedang melakukan pit stop, di mana ada motivasi.
Good, clean pit stop by the team there. Got him out nice and quick. Where is Vassivier? Vassivier is coming around the corner as we see it. And it is Roland who has to keep within the white line. He is out in front ahead of Vassivier. Roland's tactic and the Fortec Racing team's tactic has succeeded in leapfrogging Vassivier in the pit stop, and now they have the lead. Oliver Roland leads his home Grand Prix.
Taktik yang luar biasa dan juga pit stop yang baik dilakukan oleh Oliver Roland dan juga Fortec Motorsport tadi. Lebih cepat daripada Vassivier dan juga sampai dengan sekarang hasilnya adalah Oliver Roland mengambil alih pimpinan untuk race kedua di Silverstone kali ini dengan gap 2 detik antara Roland dan juga Mathieu Vassivier.
Well, let's take a look at the order now that everybody has actually put their pit stops in. We've got Oliver Roland leading the race from Mathieu Vassivier. Pietro Fantin is in 3rd place. Dean Stoneman is running 4th. Nicholas Latifi in 5th and Gustav Malya in 5th. Then we have, Malya is in 6th. Then we have Yeloli in 7th. Sean is actually doing very well. He's up into 10th place at the moment. And I can't say the same for Tom Dillman, though. I think he must have had a problem after that incident that we saw, and Tom Dillman has now dropped down all the way to 17th place. But the good news is Sean Galel is racing strongly at the moment, and he's keeping Celis Jr. behind him.
Sedikit recap bahwa Oliver Roland memimpin diikuti oleh Mathieu Vassivier dan juga ada Fantin di posisi ketiga. Kemudian ada Dean Stoneman di keempat, Nicolas Latifi dan juga Malya di 5 ke 6, Nick Yellow ke-7, Igor dan juga Panis posisi ke-7 dan 8. Maksud kami 8 dan 9 untuk Igor dan juga Panis, dan saat ini Sean Glyle masuk ke dalam 10 besar, tepatnya di posisi ke-10, menambah poin bagi tim jagonya yang with Carlin, di mana Tom Dillman tampaknya mengalami masalah dan tidak dapat melanjutkan race kali ini. I think there's a problem with Dillman that he can.
Yeah, he's 3 laps down on everybody else. He might have pulled over on the side. But let's keep our eye now on this battle here for 1st and 2nd place. Vassivier has responded. Obviously, with his brand new tyres, he has just set the fastest lap of the race so far. Vassivier holds the lap record in this championship at the Silverstone circuit, and he is using it to his advantage. He is chasing down Oliver Roland. There's virtually there's barely any space between these two cars as they come on the start-finish line. Let's see, the gap is 0.3 seconds that separates Roland and Vassivier. Can Vassivier find a way past Oliver Roland? We've got a safety car at the moment. Safety car is out, and that is not what Oliver Roland wanted to hear. Neither Vassivier, because he was really getting into the zone and he might have been able to
I think it's Tom Dillman car.
Looks like car number 26 of Tom Dillman. Indeed, that car has caused the safety car to come out. And that's virtually, basically, imagine hitting a pause button on a race.
It's gonna be interesting actually, because akan semakin menarik untuk race kali ini, saudara. Tampaknya safety car masuk. Namun tentunya berita buruk bagi tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin. Seperti yang Anda bisa lihat, and Tom Dillman is already on the out of the lane.
He's sitting down by the roadside there. So obviously very unhappy and very disappointed, I guess.
Of course.
No driver likes to finish a race before the checkered flag.
Safety car masuk tentunya membuat gap semakin dekat antara para pemimpin saat ini, yaitu Oliver Roland, Mathieu Vassivier, dan juga di posisi ketiga ada Fantin. Dean Stoneman akan ikut bertarung untuk memperebutkan posisi pertama.
This, I believe, has actually helped Oliver Roland. This has actually helped Oliver Roland because Vassivier was on form. He had brand new tires on. He was in the zone. He was chasing his rival down, and I believe he was on the verge of making an opportunity to pass Oliver Roland. And the safety car has now put that to naught. The good thing is, though, everyone's now bunched up again, and we're going to have a restart once they clear the track of the number 26 car. We're going to have a restart, and it's really important with all the drivers now bunched up together to keep it clean on the restart. It's a good opportunity for some drivers to see if they can get past a driver who doesn't react as quickly or doesn't have a good restart. So I think Sean, who's running in 10th place now, or who was up to 9th actually, I should say, He's, sorry, 10th place, I should say. Sean's in 10th place now. He's got to really stay focused, you know, and try and have a really clean, good start. He's going to have Celis Jr. pressuring him behind with Bitska Weiser in 12th place. He's got to look ahead to Panis and Uruzchev, who are in 8th and 9th place, and see if he can actually find a gap and slip in front of them.
Safety car masih berlangsung saat ini, dan tentunya ini saat masuknya
best pit stop times.
Oliver Rowland
tops the pit stop. A very good time there by the Fortec Racing team, and 25.5 seconds only lost in the pit stop there.
Oke, dan saat ini para driver ini bagaikan memulai lagi start bagi para drivers, dan tentunya keuntungan bagi driver di belakang untuk mengambil posisi terdepan, namun tampaknya juga ancaman bagi driver dari para pesaing-pesaing belakangnya seperti Sean Glyle yang saat ini mampu masuk ke posisi 10 akan diancam oleh Celis Junior dan juga Fischer. Namun semangat Sean untuk mengejar posisi berikutnya.
Sorry, the lights on the safety car are off, which means that we are about to go racing, and Oliver is really trying to bunch up the field, and then he pulls away trying to catch Matthew Vassivier off guard, but Roland is flat out on full throttle. Vassivier is chasing him down. Oliver is trying to get as far away from that Lotus car as possible as they come across the line, and they are back racing now. It is Roland, Vassivier, Fantin, and then it is Stoneman, Latifi, Malia, Yaloli. I don't believe anybody managed to nick out in front, but race leader Oliver Rowland has won the race for first place in the pit lane, and he had no intention of giving it up on the restart of the safety car.
Ya, tampaknya para pembalap masih mampu mempertahankan posisinya masing-masing. Kalau misalnya kita recap, Oliver Rowland masih memimpin, diikuti oleh Vassivier dan juga Fantin ada di posisi ketiga, Dean Stoneman posisi keempat, Latifi, Malia di kelima dan juga keenam. Kemudian ada Yeloli yang diikuti oleh Rudzev di posisi ke-8, Panis dan juga Sean Glyle di posisi ke-9 dan juga 10.
You can just tell by the body language of the mechanics in the Lotus garage that they know that their best opportunity to overtake Rowland could have just slipped past them. But the race is not over. We've got 14 minutes left on the clock plus 1 lap. And you can expect Vassivier to be attacking Rowland for all it is worth. Watch that gap. There's barely a second that separates them. There's very little between these two drivers because they are in a league of their own, I should say, in this year's championship. They have the championship could go down to either one of them. At the moment, it's playing into Rowland's favor, but I can tell you Vassivier has no intentions of giving up that easy.
Iya, tentunya waktu masih banyak, masih 14 menit lagi kesempatan bagi Vassivier untuk mengambil alih posisi pertama dari Oliver Rowland. Namun tentunya masih ada ancaman bagi Vassivier karena ada Fantin di posisi ketiga dan juga Dean Stoneman di posisi keempat. Saat ini gap sangat tipis antara Rowland dan juga Vassivier, di mana kurang dari 1 detik. So what do you think will detective from Vassivier to overtake Oliver Rowland?
Well, he has basically first and foremost got to stick as close as possible to Oliver Rowland, which he's doing at the moment. There are 3 opportunities into the braking zones where he can actually try and get past. We have seen overtaking in race 1, so we know it is possible. There's been a lot of position changes. Ask Sean, he's moved up from 10th to from 15th to 10th position. Yeah. So Sean knows how to get around a car at this circuit. So there's definitely opportunity for Vassivier at the moment. But he's going to have a few good opportunities. One would be the Abbey corner, which is a right-hander fast corner, or into the braking zones.
Namun tampaknya ada perubahan lagi di mana Sean Glyle saat ini ada di posisi ke-12, di mana Celis Junior dan juga Theo Elinas mampu mendahului Sean Glyle. So there's a problem here. I think Sean is getting.
Well, after the restart, we saw him drop 2 positions. Yeah. So, as I was saying, the restarts it's quite a tricky process for a driver to get back into the rhythm after it's being interrupted, you know. It's like running at full sprint and then somebody saying pause and you just stop on one leg and then they say continue. you know. So that's quite a bit of an issue. So it's probably come into play just a little bit for Sean, but nonetheless, you know, he's still got a few laps to see if he can pull out and regain some of the positions, perhaps.
Okay.
It's not over yet as we watch this battle for first and second place.
Still
very close between Oliver Rowland and Mathieu Vassivier.
Dan ini adalah persaingan yang sangat-sangat dekat antara Oliver Rowland dan juga Vassivier untuk memperebutkan posisi pertama, yang masih banyak waktu bagi ancaman Oliver Rowland untuk menjuarai race kedua kali ini. Karena kedua racer ini, kedua drivers ini juga tidak hanya bersaing di race kedua kali ini, namun juga di klasemen sementara, di mana saat ini Oliver Rowland memimpin dengan
29 points.
Ya.
That's the lead that Oliver Rowland has of Mathieu Vassivier in the championship. And Vassivier can't afford to allow Rowland to run away with more points. And look at this. Vassivier is lining up Oliver Rowland. He is in the slipstream. He is looking to go down the inside. But no, Oliver has that covered. Vassivier making sure Rowland knows that there's no time to be napping, no time to take it easy, and he is going to attack as much as he can in the remaining 11 minutes of this race.
Tampak tadi Anda lihat di mana Vassivier mencoba untuk mendahului Oliver Rowland, namun Oliver Rowland mampu mempertahankan dengan menutupi jalur bagi Vassivier sampai dengan tikungan pertama. Dan saat ini waktu sudah semakin berkurang untuk Vassivier mengambil alih kembali untuk memimpin jalannya race kedua di Silverstone, Inggris kali ini.
Rowland has had quite a good season so far. He has finished in the points 10 times out of 10 races.
Yeah.
So we were talking about consistency, and this is exactly what we mean by being consistent. He has scored points in all the races so far, you know, and he's won 4 races this season so far. Vassivier has won 3 races so far, which is why he's second in the championship. And Vassivier has also been in the points for 9 races out of 10. So that one retirement that Vassivier had in Monaco has proved costly thus far in the championship. But you say in racing, you know, you can expect a retirement or two. It doesn't mean it's the end of your season. And Vassivier needs, on a day like today, if he can actually get a better hand over Rowland, this will actually set him up nicely in the championship battle.
Oliver Rowland sudah menjuarai dan naik podium selama 4 kali di musim kali ini, sama 6 seri dari 12 kali membalap di musim 2015 kali ini. Pada saat di Spanyol, Belgia race kedua, di Hungaroring race kedua, dan juga tentunya di Red Bull Ring di race pertama. Namun Mathieu Vassivier, pesaingnya dengan selisih poin 29 poin, baru 3 kali menjuarai, naik podium menjadi juara 1, tepatnya di race di Belgia, Red Bull Ring, dan juga Spanyol race kedua.
Mathieu Vassivier has just set the fastest lap of the race so far, so he is looking really desperate to try and find a way past. Unfortunately, that gap has opened up just a little bit, and maybe this is Vassivier using all of the track and then some there. Didn't cost him any time, I believe. If he had tried to pass the car there, it would have been a problem, and I'm sure the stewards would have looked at it. But in this instance, I think he'll be able to get away with it as long as he doesn't do it too often. But I think he might just have decided to, you know, just to drop down just a little bit, let the tires get some cleaner air than it can be. Sometimes when you're following a car too closely behind, it's really difficult because the tires overheat. And as you can see there, obviously some very anxious supporters of Rowland there in his garage, fingers crossed, hoping that he makes it to the finish line. He's only got 8 minutes to go in this lap. In this race, I'm sorry. Can Vassivier do anything? At the moment, it looks like Rowland has this race under control. Vassivier and him trading lap times, you know, that are equally similar in that sense. And Pietro Fantin has been quietly running in 3rd place this entire race. We haven't said much about Pietro Fantin, but, you know, he's had quite a good race so far. And if he finishes this race in 3rd place, this will be his best finish of the season. Prior to this, it was 5th place in Monaco. Oh, sorry, 4th place last time out. at the Red Bull Ring, and this time he can be in a position to actually pick up his first podium of this year. So Pietro Fantin's camp is also going to be hoping that he doesn't run into any trouble, but he's got Dean Stoneman right behind him, who's very, very close indeed, and it's going to be a close finish. There's no way this race is over.
Ya, sampai juga saat ini Mathieu Vassivia mencatat sebagai catatan waktu tercepat di race kali, namun masih belum mampu mendahului Oliver Rowland yang masih memimpin untuk race kedua. Namun kita tidak lupa di posisi ketiga saat ini ada Pietro Fantin dari International Draco Team yang belum pernah naik podium. Apakah tampaknya di race kedua ini menjadi podium pertama bagi Fantin? Belum tentu, karena di belakang masih ada Dean Stoneman yang saat ini masuk di 5 besar klasemen sementara.
Theo Ilinas is really on quite some form now. He's battling for 9th place there with Panis, Aurelian Panis at the moment. Remember that spin at turn 1 at the very first lap? He was dead last at the end of that spin. He's managed to work his way through the pack and he's now in 10th place. The safety car really helped him because he bunched the entire field together. So he was quite fortunate actually. He's probably benefited the most from that safety car, and now he got himself into the points, and 10th place gives you 1 point, but I think he wants 2 by the looks of it. He wants that 9th position and 2 points if he can take it away from Aurelius Panis.
Theo Ilinas yang menjuarai di race pertama Silverstone Inggris saat ini berada di posisi ke-10, yang diuntungkan oleh safety car tadi masuk karena Theo Ilinas sempat berada di belakang di posisi ke-15, 16 ataupun juga 17, dan saat ini Theo Ilinas mengejar untuk tetap memberikan poin bagi tim dan bagi dirinya sendiri agar tetap masuk di 10 besar klasemen sementara.
Mathieu Vassivia once again sets the fastest lap. Really frustrated, I can tell, right behind Oliver Rowland, because he knows that he needs to start etching away and gaining more points than Rowland if he wants to have a decent shot at the championship. 29 points, and if things stands as it does, then Rowland's going to score 25 points and Vassivia is going to score 18 points. That gives Rowland another 7 points over Vassivia. That will extend his lead in the championship to 36 points. Vassivia is desperate not to let that happen. But as we can see, Vassivia has slowly dropped off the back of Oliver Rowland, perhaps realizing that, you know, he's going to conserve his tyres and see if he can attack maybe in the last 2 or maybe even on the last lap, if there's anything he can do to try and wrestle this victory from Oliver Rowland.
Oke, Mathieu Vassivia kembali mencatat untuk catatan waktu tercepat di race kali ini, namun masih belum mampu mendahului take over Oliver Rowland. Namun gap juga tampak, kalau misalnya kita lihat saat ini semakin jauh antara Oliver Rowland dan juga Vassivia. Fantin masih mampu mempertahankan berada di posisi ketiga meskipun dibayang-bayangi oleh Dean Stoneman di sana. Apakah Fantin akan menyelesaikan, karena kita lihat saat ini sudah masuki lap ke-19 menuju 20.
And that's really interesting. Car number 4, Oliver Rowland, the race leader, has just got a warning from the stewards for exceeding the track limits. So right at the moment, it's just a warning. We saw just now, it was Vassivia, we were talking about Vassivia exceeding the track limits. I suspect he's probably doing exactly what Rowland was doing. And Rowland now has been officially warned by the stewards. So if he continues to exceed track limits, he could be in for a penalty. But I suspect he's probably going to be a really good boy now and stick within the track limits.
Oliver Rowland baru saja mendapatkan peringatan dari para petugas tadi karena mengambil batas di luar batas untuk sirkuit. Apabila dia melakukan kesalahan lagi akan menjadi penalti dan akan gagal untuk menjuarai race kedua kali. Tapi tentunya tampaknya menjadi pelajaran dari peringatan tadi untuk Oliver Rowland menjaga agar tidak melakukan sedikit atau secuil pun kesalahan untuk race kali ini, karena sisa lap waktu saat ini hanya kurang dari 3 menit untuk menyelesaikan sampai dengan garis finish dan naik ke podium pertama.
Well, we were talking about the battle for first and seconds. This is the battle for 9th and 10th. Theo Ilinas trying to find a way around Aurelian Panis at the moment. And there's another fantastic battle happening in front between Fantin and Stoneman. And that is a battle for 3rd and 4th place. So this podium is not entirely locked off at the moment, because Stoneman and Fantin are really lapping in very similar times, as I can see. And we'll see who ends up on the podium. Meanwhile, this is a battle to see whether Theo Ilinas, race winner from yesterday, can find a way past Panis, not making it through this time around, unfortunately. The Straka Racing driver just not able to find a way past the Tech 1 racing car of Aurelian Panis as we speak.
Baru saja Anda menyaksikan pertarungan antara posisi ke-9 dan juga 10 di mana Theo Ilinas mencoba untuk mendahului Panis. Namun juga yang menarik adalah bahwa podium kali ini masih belum bisa dipastikan meskipun sisa perlombaan kali ini hanya kurang dari 2 menit. Oliver Rowland masih dibayang-bayangi oleh Xavier, sedangkan Fantin juga masih dibayang-bayangi oleh Dean Stoneman yang masih mengejar untuk dapat finish di posisi ketiga. Saat ini juga Anda saksikan Theo Ilinas masih berusaha keras untuk masuk dan overtake Panis, mengambil posisi ke-9.
Yeah, this is the other Straka racing car there of Gustav Malya. 6th place with Uruschev right behind him. So basically, we've got fantastic battles. We've got 1st and 2nd. Oh, there's a big lock off there by Malya. And has he allowed enough room for... Yes, he has. Uruschev has managed to take full advantage of that and has gone past the Straka racing driver. Malya is now under threat by the car behind him, in fact, now. And that is Yeloli, who's looking to pick up another place. He's seen his teammate Vassivier in 2nd place, but it is now Malya in 6th place. Uruschev is in 7th place. Oh, that's a fantastic, interesting move there. Gustav Malya there just losing out, and Yeloli managing just to stay behind there as Yeloli lines him up. Can he get the run on the inside and brake later going into the turn? Ooh, it's tight, but we're riding on board now, and that just not able. Yeloli manages to find his way through. The poor Malya, who was running so confidently in 7th place, has just seen all of that disappear so quickly from him. He was running in 6th place at the moment, and that has disappeared so quickly.
Okay, now here we go for the last lap after the end of the time, and here comes Oliver Rowland, followed by Xavier and also Fantin.
So Oliver Rowland has had this victory in his sights for a long time. It is his home Grand Prix. He's got his family, he's got his friends here. He's won 4 times so far this season. He's been on the podium 8 times so far this season, but none will taste as sweet as he comes across the finish line at the moment. This is the one victory that he wants in front of his home crowd, as there's a fantastic battle between Fantin and Stoneman. The podium is not locked off as we speak, because anything can happen in the last few corners as the drivers make their way around the circuit for the very last time.
Kita sudah memasuki untuk final lap, namun tampaknya podium masih belum bisa dipastikan karena masih ada persaingan antara Oliver Rowland dan Vassivier. Terlebih juga bagi Fantin dan Dean Stoneman, di mana Fantin mengejar untuk podium pertamanya di race kali ini. Namun Oliver Rowland tampaknya mempunyai determinasi yang lebih besar dan ada keuntungan yang lebih besar dari Rowland karena Silverstone adalah kampung halamannya.
Yeah, he wants it really badly. He set the fastest first sector time as he comes not too long to go now.
Here comes the last lap.
The last lap for the drivers. Not too long to go. We saw fingers crossed in the Oliver Rowland garage earlier on, hoping that he can drive his racing car all the way to the finish line. His teammate Jasman Jaffa had terrible issues with his Fortec racing machine, but Oliver Rowland has managed to keep a clean slate so far and leads this race after starting on 2nd position from Vassivier. The team opted to leave him out longer. He then went and set some really blistering fast laps, and that has made all the difference. It allowed him to get out in front ahead of Vassivier, who is in 2nd place, and Oliver Rowland has had his work cut out for him to actually keep Vassivier behind him, because the Frenchman wanted nothing better than to win the race. But as it stands right now, it is Oliver Rowland who leads his home Grand Prix as he comes into the final few corners of this race. He is going to extend his lead in the championship. He is going to have a commanding lead over Vassivier in the championship standings with this race win. He's had 4 victories to date so far. This is coming up to be the 5th for this youngster. He is hungry for a seat in Formula One, and he is happy to prove that he is very well capable of leading a race and taking it all the way to the checkered flag.
Pebalap asal Inggris Oliver Rowland masih mempertahankan untuk memimpin race kali ini karena ini adalah akhirnya finish bagi Oliver Rowland.
A big finish there by Oliver Rowland. You can see him celebrating in the car as soon as he crossed the finish line. Vassivier goes 2nd place. Pietro Fantin manages to hold off Dean Stoneman for 3rd place. Stoneman comes in 4th. Latifi is in 5th. And it is Orustchev who managed to sneak past Malia, who claims 6th place. Yeloli also got past Malia and is 7th. Malia ends in 8th. And we've got the battle here for 9th and 10th place. They're still battling hard as we see Panis goes into 9th place. And it's Sean Galel who actually finishes in 10th place. We were not watching that race. But Sean has managed to score points here in Silverstone. What exactly happened? Oh, it was contact between Tio Elinas. Yes, they had a little bit of a moment right there at the very last lap. And because of that, Sean was able to capitalize and actually sneak past them. He was there at the finish and he has picked up a point today at Silverstone.
Oke, sebuah insiden yang menguntungkan bagi Sean Glyle tentunya karena mampu masuk ke dalam 10 besar. Kita akan kembali saudara untuk podium dari race kedua Silverstone Inggris setelah jeda dan juga Kompas tadi. Jadi tetap di Kompas TV. Kembali di Formula Renault 3.5 World Series untuk Silverstone Britain Series. Dan baru saja kita selesai menyaksikan finish dari race kedua menuju podium di mana Oliver Rowland menjadi juara pertama di race kedua kali ini diikuti oleh Mati Vassivier dan juga Fantin. Ini adalah torehan yang luar biasa bagi sang tuan rumah.
But this morning we made a good step in the right direction. And yeah, to be honest, I didn't really expect to win it after the first lap, but when Matteo boxed, I just pushed as hard as I could. And then even when I came back out after the safety car, he put me under so much pressure. But then I was just able to get in a good rhythm and try and get away at the end.
Yes, what an intense battle with Mathieu. Tell us more about it, the pits.
Yeah, well, basically I had a good pit entry, a good pit exit, and a fantastic pit stop. And I did fastest lap, I think, before I came in. And yeah, that was about it. I just pushed as hard as I could all race. It was one of the hardest races I've ever done. But yeah, it feels great now.
Nice. And how important is this win for your championship?
This is probably the most important one yet. Because we struggled a bit this weekend, so to win a race when you're struggling is fantastic. And you know, we just need to keep pushing on. We've got a good gap now, but we need to build it even more.
Thank you very much, Oliver. Enjoy the podium. Thank you.
Kita kembali dan ini adalah highlights dari untuk race kedua kali ini dan Anda baru saja melihat tayangan ulang dari start di mana dibuka dengan spin dari Tio Elinas.
He had that little spin over there and that caused all kinds of trouble for him.
Yeah.
Further down the pack there, we saw lots of racing there. That was Jasman Jafar there, who third in the championship would have been hoping for a much better result, but unfortunately for the Malaysian, his race came to a premature end, obviously with some car issues there. There was close racing this entire race, sometimes a bit too close, as Nick De Vries there proved. His incident is going to be investigated after I think he took out Bruno Bonifacio, you know. He was kind of in the inside, didn't give him too much room. But it was this man here, Oliver Rowland, and this pit stop. It was actually what he did before this pit stop that actually won him the race. It was all those quick laps that he stayed out to do and then come in for a very quick pit stop. The team did exactly what was required of them. And because of that, Rowland managed to come out in front of Mathieu Vassivière and take the race lead. And from then onwards, well, Oliver did a fantastic job to hold it all the way to the finish. It did look like the safety car, because of Tom Dillman's Strucken car, could have spoiled the party for Oliver Rowland, because Vassivière was right up and putting so much pressure on Oliver Rowland, trying to find a way past, setting the fastest lap, looking left, looking right, trying to think and outsmart the Englishman in front of him. But unfortunately for Vassivière, Rowland knew exactly how to soak up all the pressure and was able to do just fine to hold on to that win. This is, we see, it was Theo Elias's teammate there, Gustav Malya, who had some incidences with Yeloli. It was Yeloli, yeah. As Rowland comes across the finish line to take his 5th win in this series so far. He now has a 36-point lead over Vassivière. It's happy days. Those fingers that were crossed are now, well, uncrossed and full of smiles and hugs and celebratory signs, as these are the results from today's race.
Ya, ini adalah klasifikasi klasemen sementara untuk championship. Sampai dengan seri ke-6 kali ini, Oliver Rowland memimpin dengan 209 poin, diikuti oleh Mathieu Vassivière dan juga ada Jasmine Jafar tadi dan Dean Stolman.
And then look at Sean Gelael there in 18th place. He now has 5 points. He had 4 going in today's race, but he picked up 1 point as the last points finisher. There were cars who had incidences all the way to the checkered flag in front of him, and Sean was right there to take full advantage of it.
Ya. Vortec Motorsport memimpin dengan 13 poin, diikuti oleh Lotus dan juga Dams. Tim jagonya Ayam harus turun karena tidak mendapatkan poin, hanya 1 poin tadi yang disumbangkan oleh Sean Gelael. Kita akan melihat ini saatnya para ketiga juara naik ke podium. Ini adalah podium pertama bagi Petro Fantin. Dan saat ini adalah podium yang
you can tell by the body language there that Vassivière is not entirely happy with his podium.
Yeah, of course.
He definitely wanted the race win, but this man deserved it because he kept Vassivière behind him, absorbed all the pressure, and in front of his home crowd, where sometimes people say there's even more pressure, he managed to convert that into positive energy and took a very convincing race win.
Hasil yang baik dari sang tuan rumah, karena memang Oliver Rowland adalah asli kelahiran Inggris. Di race pertama dia finish kedua dan menjuarai untuk race pertama. Dan kita akan bergabung langsung ke Silverstone untuk lagu kebangsaan.
Secretary
Tampak ekspresi tentunya kebahagiaan dari Oliver Rowland yang akhirnya menguasai untuk podium di race kedua Silverstone. Namun tampak kita lihat dari ekspresi wajah Vassivier dengan kekecewaan dan sedikit kekesalan tadi.
As Dean Stoneman, they're picking up the rookie, so the best placed rookie trophy there. Good result from him as well. Dean Stoneman has had quite a good season so far. But these are our podium finishers here at Silverstone. A very happy Oliver Rowland in first place, taking another win and taking a commanding lead in the championship with 209 points. Vassivier in second placing, and you can tell from his face that, the look on his face, I should say, that he is in second position by an even bigger gap. It is 36 points that separate the two, and in third place there, we have Pietro Fantin making his first appearance, and Dean Stoneman joins them.
Ya, dan ini adalah keempat finisher yang berhasil menyelesaikan dengan prestasinya tadi, dan juga memang ini adalah race kedua menjadi menarik di Silverstone Inggris karena banyak sekali insiden yang terjadi.
Betul.
Dan juga banyak sekali juga overtaking tadi, di mana Sean Gale juga sempat berjuang untuk masuk ke 10 besar, namun akhirnya berhasil meskipun mendapat 1 poin untuk menjaga agar tim jagonya yang masuk ke dalam 10 besar klasemen championship.
Betul, dan meskipun sayang sekali memang tadi ada sedikit kecelakaan yang dialami Tom Dillman, kita juga masih menunggu ya ada apa sebenarnya yang terjadi. Namun kembali saya ingatkan, meskipun balapan telah usai, tapi masih ada kesempatan untuk Anda mendapatkan hadiah uang tunai 1 juta rupiah persembahan dari KFC melalui kuis interaktif kami.
Nanti Anda juga bisa telepon langsung ke 0215661313 atau ke 53661222. Duanya 3 kali Anda bisa lihat nanti di layar kaca Anda bersama dengan rekan kita. Nanti ada
Ray Utami yang akan hadir menemani. Nah, kami akan kami akan break sejenak, dan setelah ini kami akan kembali tentunya dengan informasi lainnya masih seputar balapan hari ini dari sirkuit Silverstone di Inggris. Hai, ketemu lagi sama aku Ray Utami di kuis interaktif World Series Formula Renault 3.5. Seperti biasa nih, adanya Ray di sini. Ray mau bagi-bagi hadiah 1 juta rupiah dipotong pajak ya, persembahan dari KFC. Caranya gimana sih Ray? Gampang banget, kamu punya handphone kan? Langsung aja diambil handphonenya, dipencet-pencet nomornya, telepon ke sini sekarang juga ya, nomornya di 53661313 atau di 02153661222. Yuk telepon sekarang juga, jangan lupa ya ada passwordnya, begitu Ray bilang. Oke, Lailais langsung dijawab dengan lantang dan semangat menjadi yang terdepan. Halo, apakah sudah ada penelpon? Oke, Lailais.
Menjadi terdepan.
Cakep, dengan siapa di mana Mas?
Dengan Fadli di Depok.
Di Depok, deket ya. Pertanyaannya gampang banget, disimak baik-baik. Berapakah nomor mobil Tom Dillman? Apakah A, 25 ataukah B, 26? Yang A atau yang B?
Yang B, Mbak, 26.
Yakin?
Yakin 100%.
Dan jawabannya adalah benar. Selamat yang mendapatkan hadiah 1 juta rupiah, dan hadiah ini dipersembahkan oleh jangan lupa Mas yang di Depok, hadiahnya dipotong pajak. Kami udah selesai nih bagi-bagi hadiah. Sampai ketemu lagi ya di kuis berikutnya. Dan sekarang waktunya Ray kembalikan kepada rekan saya yang ganteng-ganteng dan cantik-cantik. Ada Sanjeev, Conchita, dan juga Felis. Silakan Felis, dadah.
Terima kasih Ray Utami, tapi kok cuma cantik aja yang disebutin tadi?
Pertanyaannya dia bilang cuma cantik, tapi silakan Felis. Jadi Felis yang cantik.
Terima kasih Ray Utami, dan juga selamat buat sport lovers di rumah yang mendapatkan 1 juta rupiah. Jangan lupa, kita masih banyak ada ada sisa 3 seri lagi. Masih ada 3 juta lagi berarti untuk Anda nanti hadiahnya.
Nah, kalau ini kan tadi kita bagi-bagi hadiah di studio, berbagi keseruan di studio. Kalau sekarang kita akan melihatnya seperti apa suasana dari acara nonton bareng yang diselenggarakan di Lenteng Agung dan juga di Surabaya. Tadi kan kita ketahui bahwa Sean Gelael berhasil masuk 10 besar. Pasti euforianya lebih hebat lagi dari tadi sebelum race dimulai.
Kita langsung lihat bagaimana laporan di lokasi. Kita ke Ratri Utami terlebih dahulu. Ratri, bagaimana suasana di sana setelah race selesai?
Jagonya ayam.
Ya, itu dia tadi yel-yel dari para Gelaelais yang sudah berkumpul di sini sejak sore tadi, dan malam ini masih cukup seru karena para Gelaelais ini masih menanti adanya acara-acara yang masih akan berlangsung di sini. Nanti masih ada kuis dan penampilan band musik dari Eros Karat. Nah, saya telah bersama salah satu Gelaelais yang mempunyai pendapat mengenai hasil race yang diraih oleh pembalap Indonesia Sean Gelael tadi. Ya, dengan Mas Prasetyo, apa kabar Mas?
Baik, alhamdulillah.
Melihat tadi performance dari Sean Gelael yang telah menempuh balap di Silverstone Inggris ini, menurut pendapat Mas Prasetyo gimana?
Udah keren banget buat tim jagonya ayam Sean Gelael, udah masuk ke 10 besar, itu udah keren. Untuk race berikutnya di Jerman, mudah-mudahan bisa lebih cepat lagi, bisa lebih podium lah kalau bisa untuk Sean Gelael.
Kira-kira apa lagi yang perlu diraih oleh Sean Gelael di race berikutnya? Apakah perlu pertimbangan lainnya atau secara teknis yang Mas ketahui?
Ya mungkin lebih bisa berjuang lebih keras buat Indonesia. Pokoknya udah lakukan yang terbaik, udah keren banget. Untuk race ini juga udah keren banget.
Terima kasih Mas Prasetyo. Dan Sport Lovers, tentunya di sini belum berakhir acaranya, masih terus berlangsung. Dan bagaimana dengan race berikutnya, diharapkan tim jagonya Karlin terus maju yang terdepan, heading to the top.
Terima kasih Ratri Kartika tadi dari Lenteng Agung. Saya sebenarnya matanya jadi terfokus kepada bapak-bapak yang di belakang tadi. Terima kasih buat semua Gelaelais yang di Lenteng Agung. Kita beralih ke Jawa Timur. Di Surabaya ada Kika Madonna di sana bersama dengan Gelaelais lain. Silakan Kika Madonna.
Ya, pastinya nggak mau kalah dengan Jakarta. Surabaya juga semakin panas, terutama untuk nobar kali ini, yaitu World Series Renault 3.5 yang saat ini juga tengah digelar di KFC Aditya Warman. Coba mana suaranya? Ini adalah para pendukung dari Sean Gelael yang tadi juga sudah berlaga di Silverstone, Inggris tentunya. Senang sekali ya, tapi sebelum mereka bisa bilang kalau mereka sangat ngefans dengan Sean. Tapi coba, saya pengen dengar. Oke, saya pengen dengar suaranya pendukungnya Sean mana? Gelaelais. Maju tak gentar. Wow, luar biasa. Oke, tadi kita sudah menyaksikan bagaimana sepanjang pertandingan, maksud kami adalah sepanjang racing ini berjalan, tapi apa tanggapan dari para penonton yang tadi sudah setia ya meluangkan waktunya untuk nonton di sini? Mas, siapa namanya?
Ray.
Mas Ray, tadi kan juga sudah nonton ya kan? Tim Indonesia atau tim jagonya ayam tadi masuk 10 besar. Tanggapannya gimana?
Tanggapannya cukup memuaskan untuk Indonesia dan untuk di kancah internasional seperti itu.
Tadi kan sempat Tom Dillman di tengah-tengah kecelakaan, apa yang itu?
Kalau tim Tom Dillman kurang memuaskan ya, karena tadi terjadi kecelakaan di lap-lap pertengahan seperti itu.
Mas, harapannya apa sih Mas, terutama untuk tim jagonya ayam ini ya?
Harapannya supaya semakin ke depan lah.
Sebelumnya, ini saya pengen tahu nih, tadi setelah nonton di KFC Aditya Warman, gimana? Seru nggak sih? Sama nggak sih? Atau sama serunya nggak sih kalau dibandingkan?
Seru! Seru banget!
Besok kalau ada Surabaya lagi, nonton lagi ya? Oke, terima kasih banyak. Itulah tadi bagaimana tanggapan, walaupun kita masuk 10 besar, yang pastinya euforia juga masih terus berlanjut. Senang sekali karena memang untuk tim jagonya ayam yang selama ini juga sudah dibangga-banggakan, yaitu Sean Gelael, juga berhasil masuk ke dalam 10 besar dan mengharumkan nama Indonesia di kancah internasional. Sementara demikian, kembali kepada Anda.
Baik, terima kasih Kika Madonna juga Ratri tadi sebelumnya dan juga Gelaelais tidak hanya di Jawa Timur dan juga Jakarta, tapi seluruh Indonesia yang mendukung tim jagonya Ayam with Carlin, salah satunya tim Indonesia yang berlaga di Formula Renault 3.5 World Series. And we're back to you, Sanjeev. So what do you think about today's race? Just sum up.
I think we saw everything that we expected to see. Close racing, lots of overtaking, incidences, and it's never over till it's over. You got to cross the finish line to get the checkered flag. Up front, I think it's clear to say that this championship battle is now between two drivers, and it is Oliver Rowland and Mathieu Vassilier. In fact, Oliver has done everything right this weekend to kind of demoralize Vassilier. We saw that body language on the podium where Vassilier just looked like he'd been beaten today. But there are still rounds left, and Vassilier can come out fighting and should come out and will come out fighting. So Rowland can't rest on his laurels at the moment. In the middle of the pack, we saw new podium finishers, you know, with Pietro Fantin today. So that's a good sign, you know. It shows that rookies or drivers can, when the time's right, if they're having a good day, put things together and actually get a good result, as we saw Fantin did today. Then we saw lots of wheel-to-wheel racing. You know, some of them are actually being investigated right now by the stewards just to make sure that there are no untoward incidences. And we'll see not whether any of the results change. But otherwise, we saw lots of wheel-to-wheel racing. It was an unfortunate day for Tom Dillman. You know, he started off a bit strongly at some point, but then fell away. He had some issues with his car. He didn't finish the race. His teammate, Sean Galal, started in 15th place, moved all the way up into 10th place, was battling there for a bit. After the safety car, he had some issues. He dropped down to 12th place. But the important thing was Sean kept driving and stayed close to the cars in front of him. And when the two drivers, Tio Ilinas, had an incident earlier right in front of him on the very last lap, on the very last few corners, Sean was right there to take full advantage of it and capitalize and came across the line to score points. And I feel this is really important for Sean because, as we were saying, he has had 3 retirements prior to this, you know, and it must be affecting his psyche. This is what he needed. He needed a points finish, not just a finish, but a points finish, and he got it today. A strong, solid 10th place, 1 point on the board for him.
Oke, dan ini adalah klasemen sementara yang Anda lihat di layar kaca saat ini adalah Oliver Rowland masih memimpin dan juga Mathieu Vassilier. Hasil dari race kedua ini, Pietro Fantin adalah rookie yang baru pertama kali masuk ke podium. Dan ini tentunya harapan seperti yang disampaikan oleh Sanjeev tadi, memberikan harapan bagi para rookie lain termasuk Sean Glyle bahwa tidak hanya modal dan potensi mobil yang cepat, namun juga cuaca, mental, dan juga keberuntungan berpengaruh dalam untuk bisa masuk dan memacu prestasi di musim 2015 kali ini. Dan kesimpulan dari yang disampaikan oleh Sanjeev Polar tadi, saudara, bahwa untuk race kedua kali ini adalah banyaknya insiden yang terjadi, kemudian juga gap atau selisih dan catatan waktu yang cukup ketat, khususnya antara Vassilier dan juga Oliver Rowland, di mana Vassilier berulang-ulang kali untuk mencoba mendahului Oliver Rowland, namun Rowland juga mampu mempertahankan sampai dengan juara di Inggris sendiri. Ini juga catatan waktu dan juga prestasi yang baik bagi Oliver Rowland karena di race pertama dia mampu podium untuk posisi kedua.
Betul, tapi ini tentunya dalam waktu kurang dari 7 hari para pembalap sudah harus kembali mempersiapkan dirinya untuk race selanjutnya yang akan dilangsungkan di Jerman. Nanti kita akan bahas, namun setelah pesan berikut jangan kemana-mana, pastikan Anda tetap di Kompas TV.
Terima kasih Anda masih di Kompas TV untuk Formula Renault 3.5 World Series, dan kita sudah melaksanakan, sudah lihat tadi hasil dari race kedua untuk Silverstone Inggris, dan kita akan menjelang untuk Jerman di minggu depan.
Betul, ini melanjutkan pertanyaan tadi sebenarnya. We know that in less than 7 days, all the racers are going to compete against each other in Nürburgring, Germany next week. So what do you think about that race?
Well, first of all, for the drivers, they've just finished a long summer break, and now they're back to work, and they're back to work. You know, so for some some of them, you know, it's going to be a really good test of their fitness levels, because they've just finished one Grand Prix, and like you said, you know, in 4 days' time, they're going to be back driving the car for free practice on Friday.
Days. It's not even a week.
Not even a week. So, you know, whether their bodies can recover in time and they jump back into the car, are they mentally strong enough to be able to reset that quickly? That's going to be a good learning curve and a good test for the drivers. For the drivers who didn't have a good result, it's a great opportunity, because especially for Mathieu Vassivière, you know, you could tell from his body language today that he just wants the next opportunity to try and beat Oliver Rowland. So he's going to get that really quickly. He's going to be very happy to see that race come so quickly. Maybe not so for the likes of perhaps, you know, Oliver Rowland, who could, you know, use the time to relax. But again, we're approaching another nice circuit. It's the Nürburgring. It is a famous circuit. All drivers love this circuit. It is a fantastically challenging circuit for the drivers to drive on. The new infield stadium is slow and technical, whereas they've still got the long and fast, windy corners. So it's going to be a really good challenge for the drivers again, and it's going to be really interesting for them.
Well, actually, technically and statistically speaking, which one is harder, Silverstone or Nürburgring?
You got to flip a coin on that one. You know, they're a bit different in their challenges. Silverstone is definitely high speed, so most of the time you're flat out, and it's more of a high speed circuit. So your average miles per hour, kilometers per hour is way higher. The Nürburgring is probably more balanced. You know, you've got your high-speed sections of the circuit, and then you come to your slow, tight, and twisty and technical parts of the circuit. So it's a good challenge for the drivers. Everyone's going to have their favorites, you know. So if you ask a German driver, they're going to be like, the Nürburgring's the best circuit in the world.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and you ask a British driver about Silverstone, and they'll be like, there's nowhere else I want to race but Silverstone.
Yeah.
Jadi memang ada perbedaan di antara sirkuit Silverstone dan juga sirkuit Nürburgring, di mana kedua sirkuit ini memiliki kesulitan dan juga trik-triknya masing-masing. Tidak bisa disamakan, tapi kalau kita melihat dari performa yang ditampilkan oleh masing-masing pembalap dalam race kali ini, justru sirkuit Nürburgring di Jerman akan menjadi tes bagi stamina mereka. Apakah mereka benar-benar mampu mempertahankan level stabilitas yang mereka tampilkan dalam race kali ini? Karena memang jaraknya sangat-sangat dekat, 5 atau 4 hari mereka sudah harus bisa melakukan persiapan maksimal.
Dan harus menghadapi 2 race dengan 2 kualifikasi, dan tentunya akan ada latihan lagi untuk di sana. Dan tentunya ini juga yang membedakan antara Nürburgring dan juga Silverstone, di mana Nürburgring lebih sedikit untuk tikungannya, hanya dengan 13, sedangkan di Silverstone sendiri ada 18, dan Nürburgring tampaknya lebih banyak trek lurus yang mungkin bisa dimanfaatkan. Apakah mungkin akan kita lihat nanti di minggu depan lebih banyak overtaking daripada Silverstone? Namun yang lebih menarik lagi adalah persaingan antar drivers. Back to you about the competition between the drivers, especially for Oliver Rowland and also Vassivière. But we not forget for the result, tim jagonya with Carlin, Tom Dillman, and also Sean. So, what do you think about the next race?
I think first let's go to Vassivière. He needs to start finishing ahead of Oliver Rowland. Today, you know, he scored some points. You know, most drivers will be happy with the podium. Most drivers will be happy with second place. But Vassivière is at the stage of the championship where he can't be happy with second place. For him, it's wins or nothing. He has to start finishing ahead of Oliver Rowland, and he has to start getting victories in the bag.
Harus menang bagi Vassivière.
That's their side of the story. So he's going to be quite clear about his focus, and I think by the time we get to the Nürburgring, if he doesn't manage it in the Nürburgring, I think it's safe to say that Oliver Rowland is going to run away with it. So Vassivière knows that pressure is on his shoulders, and he's going to have to respond. So let's see if he can respond. And we look at Team Jagunya Ayam with Carlin. They've had a very mixed weekend, you know. They had a decent qualifying session with Tom in race 1, and then they had a good race result with Tom. You know, he finished in 6th place. But then you look at the qualifying for race 2, and it went all right. You know, they had like 12th and they were 15th. You know, but at the same time, when one car didn't finish, Tom didn't finish the race. Sean stepped up.
They
he came across the finish line.
They're just like complete each other.
Yeah, They're teammates, great teammates, you know. So Sean did the job that the team needed today to finish the race and to finish in the points. So in the overall standings for Jagonya Ayam, they're in a very tight battle at the moment with the Arden team, and they've just lost 5th place in the championship standings. They're now 6th. So they have to look at the goals and set their targets for the next few races. You know, where do they want to finish? Obviously, they want to finish 5th or higher than that. So they're going to need to start getting into a position where both drivers can score points in a race weekend.
Intinya adalah bahwa Vaxivier kalau misalnya ingin memenangkan dan mengalahi Oliver Rowland di musim kali ini, hanya tinggal tersisa 6 balapan lagi, harus menang adalah kuncinya bagi Vaxivier. Sedangkan bagi tim jagonya yang with Carlin yang akhirnya turun 1 peringkat di klasemen sementara untuk tim adalah harus mengambil poin di Nürburgring. Poin sebanyak-banyaknya saja bagi Tom Dillman dan juga Sean Glyle untuk kembali masuk ke 5 besar.
Ya, dan untuk membuktikan juga kalau Indonesia bisa. Nah, tidak terasa sudah waktunya kami pamit undur diri dari hadapan Anda karena sudah selesai 1 balapan juga. Tapi sebelumnya saya ingatkan jangan lupa untuk menyaksikan race selanjutnya yang juga akan disiarkan langsung oleh Kompas TV di Nürburgring, Jerman hari Minggu tanggal 13 September 2015 atau minggu depan ya. Tepat seminggu dari sekarang.
Thank you very much Sanjeev Palar and see you again.
It's been a pleasure guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Kalau gitu waktunya kami pamit undur. Saya Feliciano Haryanto.
Dan saya Conchita Caroline.
Salam Kompas Sport dan sampai jumpa.